Kenny Florian predicts the outcome of this weekend's lightweight clash between Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier as they complete their trilogy with the BMF title on the line. Bookmakers have Max as the slight betting favorite at this point, but it's likely for the odds to shift as the fight day gets closer. Dustin won both fights between the two, and Max is coming off a knockout loss to Poirier, and this alone will make those underdog odds for Poirier look very enticing for many gamblers. These two are evenly matched, but technical aspects of the fight aside, what they're looking for in this contest is important, and their goals are very far apart. Holloway is certainly hungrier as he's the only one who stated his intention to hunt the champion, which happens to be the only guy who's knocked him out. Dustin is going into this one thinking this is his last fight, and when no title or undefeated record is on the line, it's difficult to imagine the motivation factor equaling that of someone who's in Holloway's position right now. Kenny breaks down the fight.
You know, Dustin Poirier, it doesn't matter who he's fighting. He's always going in there for the kill. He's going in there to entertain. He's going to be fighting in his home state. This is his last hurrah. He knows it. Everybody else knows it. So I think we're going to get a Dustin Poirier, talk about passion, talk about urgency, who's going to have all of those things in this fight. But I am leaning the way of Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway comes back extremely strong after a loss, and not mentally, like we know that, but technically, I've been very impressed with the people that he surrounded himself with. I think his coaches are very, very smart. I think they're always looking for ways to improve, as is Max Holloway. Dustin Poirier certainly has been that. But as far as gains, I've seen a little bit more gains from Holloway. I think he's going to be tough to take down. I think he's going to fill into this weight class a lot more. So because of that, I'm leaning towards Max Holloway, and this is a great way to honor a true legend in Dustin Poirier.
Alexander Volkanovski previews Dustin Poirier's final fight, and the two exchange compliments as the former interim lightweight champion gets ready to face Max Holloway on UFC 318 this Saturday. One thing these two definitely have in common is the strength of their resumes, having fought the best fighters across two divisions for many years. Of course, what makes this especially valuable is the fact that they did so while maintaining their position among the elite of their weight classes. Volkanovski held the undisputed title at featherweight and has a strong argument to be the GOAT in that category. So in that sense, Volk's level of achievement is greater, but nevertheless, they share that similarity that makes fighters fan favorites to watch for their entertainment value at least. Before Dustin faces another legend in Holloway this weekend, he joined Volk on a live broadcast, and the two had a friendly exchange in which Volk emphasized how impressive it is for Dustin to stay at the top of the game for such a long time, telling Dustin his longevity has inspired him.
Far into his career and still be at the top where he is, it's just impressive.
Yeah, both you and Dustin showed that the old dog still got it, right? Against Benoit and against Diego recently, huh?
It is, man, especially when everyone say this is a young man's game. There's some of us that beg to differ, you know what I mean? Where we have other plans. Big fight this weekend. Mate, you've done incredible things. We were just talking, and I was saying, like, you know, your big win over Benoit St. Denis, you know, it was like a sort of comeback, and you know, we're talking about the old guys, showing that we're, you know, about the old guys, you know, always being able to, you know, we beg to differ. They try and say this is a young man's game, and there's only very few of us that have proved them otherwise, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to say shout out to you. I've absolutely loved every one of your fights. Cannot wait to watch this weekend, and a big fan of yours.
Thank you so much, brother. And same here. I was actually in Miami, working the ESPN desk. Whenever you got that belt back, man, I was so happy for you.
I appreciate it, my man. Thank you.
Rafael Fiziev drops Khamzat Chimaev after landing a wheel kick on him in their intense one-round sparring session. The lightweight contender, with one of the best striking pedigrees in the sport, commented on what led up to the knockdown in an exclusive interview obtained by the Russian channel Low Kick. Multiple media outlets, including MMA Brotherhood, the MMA Inquirer, and Usha Taika, recently reported that Chimaev was dropped in his camp for Duplessis by a head kick. As it turned out, it was a wheel kick, and the author of it was Rafael Fiziev. Here's him describing what made the kick available to him, evaluating Chimaev's defensive issues in the striking range.
Рафаэль Физиев рассказал о спарринге с Хамзатом Чимаевым.
Этот его минус, эти шифты их, зашагивания в сторону, они все делают у них в зале, они все делают это. Они часто, когда уходят в сторону, они опускают руку и просто не видят удара с разворота. А когда ты в сторону зашагиванием уходишь, нужно всегда быть готовым к развороту. Он несколько раз довольно-таки небрежно это делал. Опускал руки. А он зашагивает, и я знал, что его этим может зацепить.
Chael Sonnen comments on the shift in fans' perception of the upcoming middleweight title fight. The South African slowly became one of the fan favorites among the champions, with his unorthodox trash-talking skills that are almost as confusing and difficult to neutralize to his opponents as his fighting style, winning over more and more people as the date of his next title defense gets closer. His fight against Chimaev is rightfully so one of the most highly anticipated title fights of the year, and even before it was officially announced, opposing sides of fans had strong feelings on who should be favored to win and how the fight's going to turn out. Chael shares thoughts.
How does Chimaev beat Dricus? Now, the wording of that, I get asked that question every day of my life about somebody. But the wording of the question demonstrates by the asker of the question who they think is going to win the fight. How does Chimaev beat Dricus is a different verbiage for saying, I don't think Chimaev can beat Dricus, and I'm only sharing with you, that's new. You guys have always believed that Chimaev could beat Dricus. You've always believed that Chimaev could beat everybody. And can he beat him? That's between those two.
Dana White doesn't rule out the possibility of Derrick Lewis fighting for the title next following his knockout win over Taliesin Teixeira. The highly unpredictable top section of the heavyweight division just got much wilder, with a new player who nobody could have expected to be reinserted into the title conversation emerging out of nowhere. All of this has a simple explanation. The heavyweight division remains to be the weakest in quality and quantity of talent across all weight classes in the company. While this has generally been the case historically, John's 2-week-long retirement shook things up further. So after securing just his second win in a row in his win streak, Derrick Lewis might very well get his second opportunity to capture the belt.
Obviously a huge win for Derrick Lewis. Do you think that could propel him into the title conversation at heavyweight? Tom Aspinall seems like he needs new opponents, fresh opponents, right, at all times. Do you feel like that did enough to put him in that conversation?
Well, I think it's the beautiful thing about the heavyweight division is that, you know, these guys are always one punch away from being right back in it. And Derrick Lewis is fun, exciting. And you saw the footage of him leading up. He trained his ass off for that fight. He was in good shape, and nobody expected that fight to go 5 rounds anyway. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely in a good spot.